A spoonful of sugar helps the harbinger go down.
Yeah.
There are 3 kinds of going down. We only mean one of them.
Just the one.
Just the one.
Just the one.
Hi, welcome to Charm Chat's special Reboot edition.
Yeah.
We're covering episode 3 of season 1, Sweet Tooth.
Yeah.
It is an appropriately Halloween-themed episode.
It is indeed.
Mm-hmm. And we'll just kick this off with the usual quick-o summary of what the fuck happened. We open on a red-tinted demon hunt that turns out to be a training simulation. A simulation that the girls fail spectacularly between Maggie's texting inattentiveness, Macy's overanalyzation, and Mel's reckless spellcasting. They get yet another lecture from Harry about caution in the face of the Harbinger. Meanwhile, the Harbinger is a huntin', and we see its POV as it lures and kills Cam mid-incel podcast rant. Nico's presence in the house is really cramping everyone's magical style, and both Mel and Macy are practically caught red-handed using their powers. Macy realizes that there's a tasty way to out the Harbinger using cookies, and they make plans to distribute them around campus. Maggie, at her serving job, meets a hottie who rescues her from a jackass customer right before she gets grilled by the Kappa-head Lucy. Mel unnecessarily freezes her class to confirm a rumor about Angela Wu, gets a lecture and an alert bracelet from Harry. Macy flirts with Galvin and unknowingly gets stalked by the Harbinger. Maggie, trying to make over the house for a Kappa party, discovers the wonderful world of glamours. Meanwhile, Mel tries to test Angela with a cookie. The Harbinger, however, is doing a bang-up job passing for human and thwarts the attempt. On the way out, Mel sees a suspicious Nico and freezes her in frustration about having secrets, which elicits yet another lecture from Harry. It's his specialty. The girls all arrive home to discover it decked out, and Maggie tells them of her plan to test out the campus en masse. We glimpse Angela unhinge her mouth and eat the leader of the Purity Posse. Maggie's party, thanks to her glamour skills, is hoppin'. Harry tries to lecture her about balance, but she ditches him to help glamour Macy a sexy, smart costume. Mel is finding her witch costume, allows her to be open with Nico, though Nico clearly has no idea that this is the case. She gets called away after a slew of dead bodies are discovered on campus. One Witch White Lighter summit later, the decision is made to seal the house party against demons, so that they can then go hunt the Harbinger. Maggie begins to feel the strain of constant glamoring and gets rescued once more by the hottie from the restaurant. In the course of prepping the house for sealing, Mel and Harry have a heart-to-heart about Mel's feelings regarding being in the proverbial witch closet. Macy has to reassure Galvin of her interest before going to help her sisters. The house sealing fails, which means that the Harbinger is already in it. Macy reveals that she has the necessary attribute to chum the water, as it were, and they all trace a path away from the party. After successfully luring Angela into the woods, the girls begin a binding spell, but Maggie's glamour headache causes it to fail, and Macy to run. Maggie releases the glamours, and Mel uses the dangerous spell from earlier to knock Angela out, to disastrous results for Macy. Harry manages to heal her, fortunately. Mel apologizes for her recklessness and finds out Harry's reason for caution. Returning to the house, Macy makes a move on Galvin, and Maggie is surprisingly good at damage control with Lucy. Mel accepts that Nico can't be in on every aspect of her life. The girls, together, see the Harbinger tied up in the attic and realize they're in for a bad time. End scene. End act. End show. Not this one, though.
No, not this one.
Mm-hmm. So that's episode 3 in a little nutshell.
This is me in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. Knock,
Yep.
knock, knock.
Yeah.
Oh my god, did you see that video of the guy attempting to crack a walnut on his desk and it just goes through the desk?
No.
It was a shitty desk, clearly. Like, really thin plywood. But no, he, like, puts the walnut shell on there and he attempts to pound it with his fist and it just makes a cute little hole in the desk.
Interesting. No, I have not seen that.
It's hilarious.
I will have to check it out later.
Okay, so let's continue with thoughts.
Yes. So, my first thought was, get these girls some sneakers.
Yeah.
Because running in heels is not a thing you should be doing.
Well, eventually they're all running in sneakers. Once Maggie releases the glamours.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was my first thought. I do kind of like the crystal ball simulation thing, though.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. That was a neat little aspect.
I want to know whether or not the texting during that simulation was actual texting or was simulated texting.
I'm going to assume that it was actual texting that she was doing.
Like they transported
Outside
into there and it was just like a pocket dimension?
Yeah, probably
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Kappa drama, once again, ruining everything.
I know.
I do wonder, though, like, I understand how they kind of played it off of Macy still trying to, like, figure out her powers, but it was like, why are you taking so long to throw the thing? Why? Throw the thing.
It wasn't immediately obvious what was going on with her.
Yeah, exactly.
And it did require verbal explanation to be like, oh, okay, this is what's happening.
Yeah, because it didn't really make sense as to why she was taking so long to throw the thing.
It's just not a very visual conflict because, I'm forgetting the actress name, but the woman who plays Macy, the expression she has chosen to signify panic is like a blank face, and so that's really good for the character, but it's not so revealing to the audience so much.
Macy is Madeline Mantock.
Right, Mantock. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's British.
Yeah. The only one that I remember her name is Melanie Diaz.
Yeah.
Playing Mel.
I know, right?
Because Mel playing Mel was easy to remember.
Yep.
And then I remember that Maggie, her name starts with an S.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Sarah.
Yes.
But yeah, that's legit. I'm like how, like, Mel is playing Mel. The other one is also an M, but then the other one's an S, and that's like how I remembered. I was like, okay, okay, but yeah, they're not names that I hear a lot. Like, Madeline. It's not a name you hear all the time, so I didn't like.
Oh, speaking of Kappa drama, I'm really loving what Lucy is doing. Where you'll get these like brief glimpses of actual humanity. Mm-hmm. The girl playing Lucy, I should say. We get actual like glimpses of humanity from this girl, and then it's immediately like whitewashed over, almost literally, with just college politicking
and airheadedness.
Yeah, it's a real good job.
Yeah, I just don't like.
I know. But honestly, that's a good sign for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
she's
like
a very
the
good
character.
Actress. I will give her
but
that.
I love the actress.
Yeah, she's
just
a very good actress.
Just like Sam Rockwell.
Yes, there you go.
I think I've said this before, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have many thoughts on many things.
Yes, I know.
Like I said, in this, Mel is still a character that I just don't like her right now. Like, she's impatient for no reason. She's reckless for no reason. And, like, I'm having a very hard time liking her. Mm-hmm. Like, toward the end of the episode, she kind of gets a little bit more dimension to her.
Yeah.
But it is molasses in winter, and it is just, I can't. Like, I'm trying very hard to like her, but it's not. Mm-hmm. It's not going very well for me.
Yeah, she's impatient. And for no good reason, really.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing, is we have yet to see a reason as to why she is so impatient and reckless and just, headstrong and stubborn.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say it's probably because their mother was clearly very good about giving them a complete safe space in the house. Like, she never had to worry that she was going to be judged when she was around her sister or her mother.
I did like that. That was a nice thing to learn.
Uh-huh. And so that might mean... Wait, I had a train of thought. Did it leave the station? Where'd it go? Did it take the wrong track? It might have. Mm-hmm. Fuck.
It's alright.
But yeah, having a complete safe space in her home life, I get the feeling like that makes her too comfortable in this situation, which is new, which she should take a little slower, but she's like, oh, Mom could do this, and Mom loved us, so obviously we can do this, so I have to work twice as hard to impress, for some reason, Mom, who is dead.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get it. It's just, there's just a lot of things that are happening where, like, I'm not completely sure that it's going to make sense because we have yet to see it make sense.
True. So
I'm hoping that it eventually makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Back to the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
So Harry gives this speech thing, which includes the phrase, "the deafening screams of human torment." And Maggie doesn't immediately think of Coma Girl who screamed in her fucking head.
Nope.
I mean, seriously.
She forgot about her by the end of the last episode.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
A lot, I think.
I mean, that was
where they learn something in one, or something happens in one, and they just completely forget it by the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to see the continuity from
Yeah.
original series to this one has stuck around, as in there is none.
Don't worry, we've got the continuity police on it.
Yeah,
because
we
you're
do.
a registered nitpicker.
Darn tootin' I am.
I think that's probably just a case of differing writers from episode to episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's very funny that, like, you had a scream in your head and you don't mention it. You didn't mention it to anybody. Nobody else remembers it. Like, there's just so many things.
I mean, she was rather preoccupied. She did immediately... Was that where she immediately left to go fuck her ex-boyfriend?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of things. I liked that this episode, the logo comes up out of a pool of blood.
Yeah. They're doing fun shit with the episode logos.
Yeah, I kind of like that the logo is vaguely tied into the episode.
Actually, I think Supernatural did a similar thing, didn't it, for a while?
I think so.
Like per season?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not positive. It's been a while since I've caught up
I think
on
it was per
Supernatural.
season. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. The Book of Shadows seems to have a Ask
Jeeves,
Ask Siri, like,
yeah.
It's a just ask the book for what you need and it'll just flip to whatever page you need. Like,
I mean, honestly, that makes sense for, like, a witch thing, because if it's a huge ass tome,
I get
you're
it.
you're gonna forget what page is on what, and it's, I mean, there's no glossary, there's no index, there's no
No table of contents.
Table of contents, thank you.
Yeah, it's just an interesting thing of I need this, and the book will just flip to what you need. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
I mean, hey, it's a way to get rid of an extraneous character that you don't really need to have right now.
That is true. That is very true. I also thought it was very funny that Nico is there, so she apparently sleeps over a lot. But there was a line that she said, which was, "Nothing is ever going to come between us." And in my notes I went, "Bye, Nico, nice knowing you." Because, like, you can't say that in this type of show.
You
like,
really can't.
Like, she's either going to die at some
Never.
point, or something is going to happen and she's going to break up with Mel. Like,
only a Sith deals in absolutes, Nico, and we're not in Star Wars.
yeah. It was just funny. I was like, oh, man. No. Oh, and then Macy in the kitchen baking and using her powers to move the eggs.
Yeah.
It was a funny moment.
Yeah.
And we were lucky that Nico was looking down at her phone instead of, whatever.
I also love that when the egg fell, it's behind the kitchen island, and so she's not going to see it.
Yeah, it was behind the kitchen island. But then nobody paid attention to it anymore. It hit the ground. Now there's egg all over the ground. And then the girls are just walking through the kitchen like it's not there. Like, seriously? Nobody was like, at least, like, put a towel down on it? No. They just didn't even pay attention to it because it wasn't really there.
Nope.
Though I do like the fact that Science Sister likes to bake.
Yes.
Because baking is a science.
It really is.
It really, really is. And I love it.
Yeah.
Because if you change one thing, it changes what you're doing.
Yeah, I love that there's this one picture of someone who made a bunch of the same chocolate chip cookies, but they changed, like, one thing. Mm-hmm. So, like, oh, this one used melted butter.
Yeah.
This one used brown sugar. This one, like, had something instead of oil or whatever.
Applesauce instead of oil or something.
Or applesauce instead of egg.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
like
a bunch
various
of
substitutions and and like cake flour instead, like just seeing how much they change, like baked at a different temperature or whatever, that kind of thing. I love seeing that.
Yeah, it's really funny. That's how my pumpkin bread became what I lovingly call my famous pumpkin bread, because it's supposed to have 3 cups of flour in it to be pumpkin bread. So it's bread-like consistency. Yes. And in my flour container, like the second time I ever made it, I'd accidentally left a half cup instead of a cup, and I wasn't paying attention. And so instead of 3 cups of flour, it was just 1.5 cups of flour. And it became this moist, delicious, more like a cake than a bread. Mm-hmm. And it still tasted just as good. It, in fact, tasted better. Yeah,
because you didn't have all of that gluten and starch soaking up all of the pumpkin liquid.
Exactly. And so, like, I served it because I'm like, it still tastes fine. It's just a different consistency. And everyone's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And like everybody loved it. And so it became the thing. And so like when my cousin got married and we were giving recipes to his new wife, I gave her my special recipe for pumpkin bread with the adapted flour. Yeah, so she's the only one in the family who can actually make it proper now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I think it's very funny. And they just announced that they're pregnant.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that like the 3rd one for you in the last couple of months or something?
Who?
I feel like you've come to me and you've said, oh, hey, this person I know is pregnant. Oh, hey, this person I know is having a baby.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I feel like that's happened a lot with you lately.
Yeah, a lot of my friends and stuff have either gotten married or had babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Shrug.
Like,
on with the show.
Yeah. Like, it's not my life, so I don't care.
Yep.
Anyway, back to this show. Let's see. Oh, so Maggie at her little restaurant serving thing, my first PSA is don't be a dick to your waitstaff.
Yeah.
Because that's not a thing you want to do.
No.
Like, ever. But I'm slightly annoyed that she had to have a man come in and rescue her from the situation.
I mean, this situation makes a lot more sense for me because, like, you're a waitress. You can't risk losing teeth.
Right. It's the only reason.
having like a
you
good
can't
Samaritan.
Risk losing your job.
Yeah, that too. Having a good Samaritan swoop in and be like, hey, you person being dick to waiter, leave. And then it's not your fault, and you get to relax.
Yeah,
like, okay, great, thank you.
That's the only reason I'm okay with it. That's why I'm only slightly annoyed. Because
and then, of course, he turns around and starts flirting with her at her job, and I'm just like, yeah, please don't do that.
Yeah.
And then we find out that that's Lucy's boyfriend.
Yeah, and that's why I was annoyed with the flirting.
Yeah.
Like, the flirting at her job, like, okay, that's kind of cute. Like, you saved her, and you want to be all like, I like you, you're kind of cute, whatever. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, don't flirt with people at their job because, that's just rude. But I understood it in that moment. Mm-hmm. But then you find out you're dating the Kappa girl.
Yeah.
Like, why? Now you're just a dick.
Yep.
Like, why? Why did you feel the need to do this? Like, unless they're polyamorous, and then it's fine.
I mean,
maybe.
Still should say something about that, though.
Yeah, you should mention that you have a
girlfriend.
Can somebody just please explain to me the reason behind
also
wanting
his
to
girlfriend,
be in a sorority?
His girlfriend is right behind him. He has just left their brunch table where they're having mimosas.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're 10 feet fucking away.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of shit that happens that I just do not understand. But I just, really, truly, if anybody is in a sorority or has ever rushed a sorority, I just want to know, what is the reasoning behind wanting to be friends with catty bitches? I just don't get it.
Status?
Like, it just does not make any sense.
I don't get it either, but I understand the evolutionary impetus behind it.
Yeah.
Because everything is down to that, eventually.
I guess so.
Once you strip away all of the oniony, crying layers, all that papery skin, all that vapor that turns into acid on your eyeballs. That's literally what happens when you cut an onion, BT dubs.
Let's move on. Let's see. Once again, Mel being reckless and stupid, and the freezing of an entire classroom and the hallway outside.
And the hallway outside. Like, this is different.
Just to look at somebody's phone.
Yes. She could have
just
asked.
grabbed his phone.
Yeah.
Like, legit. Because she's that kind of person, she would have done it. She just should have grabbed his phone without having to freeze the room.
No, we had to have the plot point of Harry coming in to be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Here,
that's
have
the other thing.
have a shiny little bangle.
And that's the other thing that annoyed me. Harry comes in.
Lectures her about things being out of place.
Right, lectures her about things being out of place and her has to be in the exact same spot because what if somebody notices that you've moved? And then gives her a piece of jewelry that she wasn't wearing 3 seconds ago.
Yep.
I'm sorry, what now? Does this piece of jewelry have some sort of like invisibility? Yeah, like is it cloaked in some way so that they don't notice it? Because that's the only reason that I would be okay with this, is if he had had a little throwaway line of, this is fine because this is a magic thing, nobody will see it. You're the only one that can see it because then you know that it's there, but nobody else can see it. Because otherwise, you have now told her not to do something and then you did it to her.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it just made me mad.
Mm-hmm.
Just made me mad.
Yep.
Let's see. The other thing that I wonder about now is Maggie using the Book of Shadows to make the house Kappa-worthy. Like, is personal gain not a thing?
They wanted to bring it in this episode.
Apparently so.
They had to have her doing something that was clearly not for anyone else, so then Harry could go explain it to them.
Yeah. Because you can't just tell people things. No, they have to learn.
They have to learn. Uh-huh.
But yeah, like that was my first thought. It's like you're using all of these glamours.
Yeah, the personal gain in the end is, she gets a headache, dizzy, and then she has a wart when it's all done. What?
Yeah, there's a wart on her chin that I'm sure we won't see again after this episode.
We don't. No.
So, like, this is my question of why. Okay, so personal gain, you get a consequence from a personal gain thing. But it's a consequence that goes away after a while? Because she got a wart on her face that then will be gone by the next episode.
I mean, it does make
brought up again.
Poetic sense. She was trying to make everything look pretty, so she gets to look a little ugly for a bit.
And fuck you for anybody who thinks warts are ugly. Just saying. With my little birthmark on my face.
Mm-hmm.
I love my little wart face.
I got my freckles.
Yeah, but freckles are adorable, so...
Yeah, but not when you're a kindergartner getting teased about them.
Yeah, well,
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I know that feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, they're angel kisses. And little 4-year-old me is like, fuck you.
Yeah. I was like, well, then tell the angels to stop fucking kissing me.
Yeah. Well, also, no, I guess I hadn't heard by that point. But, like, sometime after that, I learned about the possibility of skin cancer.
Yeah.
And that having freckles increases that because your skin doesn't properly distribute melanin.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'd be not tan, but I'd be slightly darker overall if it weren't for all these fucking freckles.
Yep.
And then I would have less risk of skin cancer. But no. Also, I think at one point I mistakenly believed that my grandmother had died because of skin cancer, and so that freaked me out.
Well, there you go.
But I didn't learn that until I was at least 7. Because that was when I found out that my grandma wasn't my grandma.
Well, then.
No one bothered to fucking tell me.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Family secrets.
Not really a secret. Like, they all knew.
Yeah, well.
Most of my older cousins knew. I'm pretty sure my brother knew. No one fucking told me.
Hey,
They forgot.
That's all right. My uncle didn't realize that he was technically just a half-sibling for a very long time. My mother's the one who figured it out, which is even funnier. But that's a story for another day.
Yep.
Because it's not my story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I do like the Mel comes in to Angela Wu, gives her the cookie.
Immediately
Basically
leaves.
forces her to eat the cookie.
Tries to tell her it's her mother's recipe. Bitch, this is clearly a sugar cookie cutout that you got from the store that you just fucking baked and iced. Like, god fucking damn.
Yeah, well, but I like the fact that...
It's an iced sugar cookie. How is this your mom's recipe? What the fuck?
Well, it could be her recipe for sugar cookie. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that bit. But it was just very funny of the... I like the effect that they did because Coma Demon is smart.
Yeah.
where she eats the cookie.
She just pops the entire thing in her mouth, pretends to chew. When she leaves, shoves
her
the hand down her
throat.
throat
Yeah.
and pulls it back out completely intact and just tosses it in the bin.
Yeah. I was like, that's gross.
It
but
didn't even
really
have
well
saliva
done.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or stomach acid.
Well, no. She just pretended to chew it and then said maybe 2 words after that and then didn't talk.
Yeah.
So she, like, made it go down her esophagus a little bit and then just pulled it back out.
Yeah. It was a very interesting, if gross, thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like the fact that they did it, not exactly a practical, like, there was
Yeah.
probably a little bit of CG in it, but they did it with her facing away from the camera.
Mm-hmm.
They had her turn around, so all you saw was the
Yeah.
back of her head and then her hand going downward.
Don't show the monster.
Yeah, so I thought that was really a nice way of doing it, because it made it more real because you couldn't see it.
Yeah. Again, don't show the monster.
Yeah.
Just like with Jaws.
Nico showing up and Mel once again freezing the entire room.
The entire hallway.
Like the entire hallway.
The entire dormitory hallway.
Like, I just... But then Harry shows up, and I get that she froze Nico so she could have a conversation with Nico, because she can't actually have the conversation with Nico.
Yes, it's the aside to audience.
Yeah, like it's
very Shakespearean.
It was a much better reason to freeze.
Yes.
Than the first freeze
Let me grab
was.
your phone without you knowing about it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I would be concerned about Angela having just randomly woken up and not having heard about it. Be like, oh my god, can I see that? Like, let me take a look. Blah, blah, blah. But, no, they had to have Harry coming in. And now they have to have Harry coming in again.
Yep. I actually wrote my notes. I was like, here comes Harry, 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
Because I was like, I know he's going to show up any moment now.
Mm-hmm.
Though there was a look on Nico's face during that conversation. I'm like, what is Nico hiding? Because, like, there was just a look on her face that was that, like, just slightly off. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know.
I don't know. It might have just been a me.
Also, I think her
thing,
hair is
but-
shorter.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't paying much attention to that.
Because last episode she had the ponytail and she took it out to declare that she's a hottie and she shouldn't have to hide that anymore. And I'm like, yes.
Don't hide your hotness.
Nope. But yeah, I think it's shorter because I don't think it would fit into a ponytail right now. But hey, she's keeping with the no glasses thing.
Yes, which
So that's nice.
You know, only because she doesn't actually need them.
Well, yeah, she doesn't actually need them, but it's consistency.
Yeah, I like the fact that they had it, that she had the glasses, but she doesn't actually need the glasses, more than she had the glasses, and to look pretty, she took them off and got contacts. Because that pisses me off more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not having glasses doesn't make you prettier.
Mm-hmm.
Having glasses doesn't make you uglier.
Well,
fuck
because
you
the
all
entire
for
point
thinking that.
of the glasses and the way she dressed was to have people take her seriously. So now she doesn't need that. She's like, yeah, I'm hot. I'll own it, bitch.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I could totally be hot if I just tried a little. Like, no, try exactly as much as you want. This is why I like the baseline of not wearing makeup, because then when I doll myself up, I've leveled up. Everyone's like, oh my god, you clean up so good. And I'm like, thanks.
I know that feel. Yeah. I don't wear makeup very often, but when I do, people go, huh, there's something different about you.
What is it?
I'm like, yeah, there's color on my face. That wasn't there before. Let's see. Other things, playing fast and loose with the rules. On the porch of the house, out in the open where anyone could see it, they call Harry and he shows up.
Broad daylight.
Like, I'm sorry, what now?
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, the mechanic in this one is that he just kind of atoms in, and it's not like a bunch of glowy ass lights, which would even be weird to see in broad daylight.
Yeah.
They'd be way obvious at nighttime, but they're still like distracting in daylight. So at least it's like there's a weird like blur and then he's there.
Yeah. But it's still like broad frickin' daylight where anybody driving past could see. Like, it just playing fast and loose.
Yeah.
But then I do have to say, when they go inside and they see the house and Maggie comes down in that dress.
Yes.
That was such a pretty dress.
Oh my god, that was great.
Her.
Oh, so great thing. I watched this episode. I see that little tiara she's wearing with the stars. And then my friend Erin posts on Facebook that her niece gave her pretty much the exact same tiara. And I'm like, oh my god, this is super cute.
That's adorable.
Uh-huh.
That's super cute.
Like, it wasn't exactly the same, but it was the same motif of, like, the outline plastic glittery stars. I fucking loved it. And I want that dress. And yes, Martha Stewart is totally a witch.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And Snoop knows about it.
Yeah.
He gets her herbs.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Snoop no herbs.
Snoop no herb.
Yep.
Singular.
I'm sure he branches out.
He might, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely many strains of herb.
Uh-huh. He loves himself a vegetative state.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
But,
Yep. I enjoy the girl from the Purity Posse.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh man, like
sex and booze is a sure way to lose. She's the only person we ever see who's doing this thing.
Yeah.
And
like it was one of those where like as soon as she came on the screen, I was like, oh, she's going to die, isn't she?
uh-huh.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
Poor girl.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Like, yeah, I'm sorry, sweetie. You don't go to Wheaton College. No one's gonna join the Purity Posse at this rando fake college.
Yeah.
Hilltown University or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, it just like as soon as she came on the screen, I was like, oh, how long does she have to live?
She should
Will
have
she even make it to the end?
She should have transferred to BYU.
Yeah.
She'd have fun there.
Yeah, Brigham Young might
although she'd
like
have to find a new slogan because they're not allowed to drink.
Well,
and I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to have sex.
I don't know, but I would probably bet on that. Yeah,
mm-hmm. They're definitely not allowed to be gay there. I think.
Oh man.
Or like be open about it. I'm unclear.
I'm going to assume to be open about it because there's gay people everywhere.
Yeah.
So. Brigham Young is no exception, I'm sure.
Yep.
Anyway, I do like the makeup that they did for the Harbinger.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was great.
I love so good, and I love how it glows red.
Yes, I love how they started it 2 scenes earlier for her because she's hugging Mel and she sees her arm and it's starting to turn into this like weird grayscale desert lake after it all dries up.
Yeah.
And she has to cover that up with the long sleeves. And then she's just like, well, this has already happened. Which makes me wonder, like, this is happening to the vessel as a result of the Harbinger occupying it. So, if it had been much longer, the Harbinger would have had to find a new vessel, right?
But see, here's the thing. I don't...
Because this is damage, clearly. Like, it's visible damage. It's progressive. It starts. She has to hide it. And then, fortunately... because it's Halloween, it can then go out and not look like it's anything weird. Just look like it's a really good makeup job.
Yeah.
Also love the unhinging of the jaw. That's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very The Mummy. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about it of would it... Because I don't know if it's necessarily, like, damaging the vessel.
Well, it's something that it clearly can't control about an alteration to the physical vessel.
Mm-hmm.
That would then make it very difficult to go incognito. So, if only for that reason, it would have to switch vessels at some point.
Not necessarily. I think that's the thing. That's like it's not really giving a shit.
It's giving some shit. It's still giving some shit because it went with a costume. Like, it has to give some shit in order to blend in so it can...
But see, it didn't really go with a costume.
Well, otherwise it would have just worn Angela's regular clothing to the thing, and then they'd be like, oh yeah, she just did a makeup job over top of her regular clothing. No, it wore fucking nightgown with no shoes. That's giving some shit.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think at that point it was...
It knows to play it off as a Halloween costume, which means it cares about appearance.
Yeah.
It's happy for the excuse of being able to go without having to alter the appearance, or maybe it just can't, and so it's grateful that there is Halloween to deal with.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe this is a timing issue. Maybe it just waited for Halloween. I don't know. But either way, it knows it can't walk around in normal daylight looking like that.
True.
And when we see it at the end of the episode, it's still looking like that. It hasn't tried to change anything.
Right. Yeah, no, I get that.
Which means it probably can't.
Yeah. I get that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could get behind that.
Yeah.
Headcanon accepted.
Doo, doo.
Yeah. The other thing that I have with the whole glamour thing is Maggie makes drinks using glamour.
Yep.
Which means that glamour is making real things?
Well, it's changing the appearance of whatever the fuck. They're just essentially tactile illusions, is what I'm getting.
But, like, then... See,
okay, so it's basically like the holodeck, right? Because
can you actually get drunk on the holodeck, is the question then.
That is something Trekkies have been debating for fucking decades. No, because here's the thing. So the idea is that everything in the holodeck is made out of light that becomes physical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in the holodeck, you can get wet. Like, there's no physical harm that's supposed to happen to you, but everything else you'll be able to feel. So, like, you get dunked in a holodeck lake, you should be able to get wet, and then the second you step out, you're supposed to dry off. Mm-hmm. Which does never fucking happen on the show, because that's too difficult to show. But the idea that you go into the holodeck and you have food and drink, and then you leave, what the fuck happens to it? Because nothing that is created inside the holodeck can leave the holodeck, which is why the water is supposed to come off of you the second you leave. Which is why they had Moriarty, who wanted to come out of the holodeck and fucking couldn't, so they made a holodeck within the holodeck and had him come out of that, so he thought he was in the real world and blah, 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 blah. It's not important. Either way, they tricked him.
Right.
But food, you eat food, you come out. What happens to it? Are you suddenly not hungry? Can you eat a meal in the holodeck, come out, immediately eat another fucking meal?
Yeah, because
I want to know.
Yeah, so do I. Because that's the biggest thing. Is like if glamour is making this real.
Wait, oh, sorry. That was the end of my point. That was where this was going.
Yeah.
The glamour is just like the holodeck. It's just independent of like a box to make it in. You just make it, and then it makes it appear as though there is a physical like thingy right there, because when she glamored the weird cauldron thingy, I don't think there was anything on the table in that spot.
Correct.
She just created it.
Right.
So this is essentially hard light.
Right. But so that's my question. Is
so it gives the sensation.
She glamours 2 drinks into being. She gives them the drinks. They drink the drinks. Do they get drunk off those drinks, first of all, because it's supposed to be alcohol?
I think they're probably already drunk.
Well, probably. But it is then the question of...
I think they probably pre-gamed.
I don't know. It is the question of, first of all, of do they get drunk? And then the second of all, what are they actually holding? Do you know what I mean?
Hard light. They're holding an illusion that is tricking their eyes and their nerve endings.
Yeah.
And that's magic, baby.
Yeah.
Also, it wouldn't matter if the illusion could get them any drunker, because they're skinny marks. They don't have that much alcohol.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
anyway.
It's apparently from a skinny margarita mix.
I don't drink, but something tells me that wouldn't taste very good.
I hate tequila. It definitely wouldn't taste good.
Well, there you go then.
I mean, like, I'm already opposed to diet soda just on principle. Like, I don't want to drink it. Y'all do whatever you want. But I think it tastes disgusting.
Yep.
So a skinny margarita mix? No, thank you.
No. I do think it interesting, though, that this is the moment when Harry is finally like, there is personal gain.
Yeah.
Stop fucking around with magic.
I did really love him just walking on to everyone at the party and going, have a cookie. Eat the cookie!
Yeah, that was kind of funny. I was like, you cannot leave without eating a cookie.
Lucy doesn't... No one fucking recognizes him as the head of the women's studies department.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Just generic white guy.
Yep.
Generic white British guy. They're like, oh, he must be putting on an accent or something. He's wearing a mask. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then...
So, you know what I did love? I really loved that the loophole to the, hey, we're going to seal the house. Bad idea, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
But the way you make it not a bad idea is oh, well, if there's already something dangerous in there, it just won't seal.
Yes.
I like that as
that was very cool.
Because when they explained how it was going to work, they're like, oh, we'll seal the house in and then no one can leave and then we'll go hunt the thing. And I'm like, well, what if it's already in there? And then they try it and they're like, oh,
it's already in there.
It's already in there. Oh,
Yeah.
great. There's a fail-safe. There's a control.
Yeah,
Great.
that's cool. But hold on, going back really quickly because we were talking about glamour. Harry comes in and gives her there is personal gain consequences, don't fuck with magic. Mm-hmm. And then Macy shows up.
Off.
Yeah, Macy shows up wearing her costume of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which go on, Science Sister, gotta love it. And Maggie is like, no, you need to be in something sexy. Let's go glamour you up a sexy costume.
Macy's theme for this
Maggie,
episode.
You were just told to stop fucking around with magic because personal gain consequences are a thing. And now you're gonna go give yourself more.
This one was for Macy, not for her.
Yeah.
But anyway, no. I love that the theme for Macy this episode was overanalyzation.
Yes.
Maggie is distracted. Mel is impatient. But Macy is overanalyzation. So who knows what she would have chosen to wear to the party had Maggie not brought it up that morning.
Yeah.
Because Maggie's the one who's like, oh, Gavin will totally love you in that outfit. He'll think you're a fucking snack. And then she doesn't wear the outfit. Mm-hmm. Because it's been brought up and now she's thinking about it.
Yeah.
So she can't do it.
Yeah.
She's too uncomfortable. And then she's trying to, like, go through all of these outfits in the mirror, and for some reason the Lara Croft one was all black.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, is there a version of Lara Croft where she's wearing all black? Because Lara Croft is in, like, a white tank top and khaki shorts.
Or green.
Yeah, but, like, she's in a tank top and shorts, yes, but they're normally, either white or green tank top and khaki shorts.
Yeah.
But they had Macy in all black.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, Halloween, it looked good on her, but, like...
well, everything looks good on her.
Yeah.
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 She's a pretty lady.
She is. Mm-hmm. And I like her hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's big and poofy and curly, and it looks just very nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she's good with the use of product. Or maybe whoever is in the hair department is good with the use of product.
Yes.
I like that they're not trying to mess too much with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Oh, note to Macy. It's normal to be nervous about your first time, no matter when that fucking happens.
Yeah.
Like,
just because you're a
28-year-old virgin over here saying, totally normal, sweetie, you're fine.
Yep.
You do you.
Yep.
Or other people. Whatever you want.
Yeah. I get that she's like...
But yeah, that was part of her overanalyzation.
It's weird to be nervous about it and blah, blah, blah.
No.
Like, it's like, no, it's not. It really, really isn't.
If it's your first time, it's your first time.
Yeah.
I love that her overanalyzation is what led to this. Which, granted, made for her to be the chum in the water.
Yes.
Which was helpful.
Though, and for the first time, though, I do really, really, really have to agree with what Mel said, that the concept of virginity is just a tool of the patriarchy to control our sexuality.
Well, also, the term virgin blood for, like, ritual shit is just blood that hasn't yet been used in a ritual. It's not blood belonging to someone who's never had sex.
Yeah.
Because then they can't go make... obviously, like, if they're going with the whole, oh, well, it's going after virgins, we have to have a way to take it away from the house. Well, we've seen Maggie have sex. We know Mel's had sex, and they're not going to go oh, she never, like, there was no penetration, so it's lesbian sex, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, no.
And then she offhand mentions, she's like, I've tried it with a guy. You're not missing anything.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
And
Maggie doesn't like, say anything, which was even better.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no, yeah.
She's like, wrong. We've had this conversation. I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing in that whole thing is the fact that, yes, virgin blood just means blood that hasn't been used in a sacrifice before, because it has to be fresh blood. Yeah. Is basically all that virgin blood really, really means. Mm-hmm. And Hollywood has changed it.
You can't just leave it sitting out on the counter for a while. It'll grow stuff.
Yeah. But there's a lot of things. I like I said, I like the fact that they made it so that Mel is trying to be like a better person, kind of. Like, she has that, that she's never had to be in the closet. She's always been able to be out, and all of that. And
that would be great. More parents should do that.
yes, absolutely.
Like, actually fucking listen to your kids.
Yeah.
Support your kids.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't have kids.
Well, yeah. But I like I said, I like that Mel is trying to have this, like, she's having a conflict in herself, of that she has to hide who she is as a witch, but she's never had to hide who she is as
a person.
Yeah. And so that little conflict is cool. I like that Maggie is still trying to do this, like, I'm trying to hide this whole, like, I can hear your fucking thoughts if I touch you thing. And I want to be a sorority sister, so I have to be nice to these Kappa girls. And then you get Macy, our lovely science sister. She confuses me because she is very logical and analytical and whatever, but then she cuts her hand in her palm to put blood on things. Don't do that. There are so many nerve endings in your hand, and you're not even doing it with a clean cut.
You're doing it with your hairpiece.
Yeah, like, you're doing it with a jagged thing to cut your hand. There are so many nerve endings in your hand. If you cut the wrong one, you will lose the use of your hand. You will lose feeling in your hand. You're a science person, Macy. Like, you should know this.
Use, like, the back of your wrist or something.
Yeah. Like,
if you there's too many, like, veins and stuff on the inside of it, so use the back of your arm or even
whatever. Just split your thumb, or split, like, a finger,
finger prick. Well, I mean, I know they had to have, like, enough blood to leave a reliable trail that she wouldn't have to keep poking herself or whatever.
Right, but if you cut your finger, not just prick it, but if you cut your finger, like, at where your fingerprint is, if you cut that, that's enough blood. That's plenty of blood.
Maybe.
And yes, you may have a little bit of issue with using that finger for a while, but don't cut the middle of your fucking hand. Seriously. That's just asking for trouble. And the best part is, it won't matter by the end of the episode. It won't matter by the next episode.
No, because Harry healed it.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
That's the only reason I'm kind of okay with it, is because they have Harry to heal.
Yeah.
If you don't have a white lighter that can heal, you don't do that shit.
As a person who has had to have stitches from cutting a finger on accident, yeah, that shit bleeds a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost didn't go to the ER for that. But I was at work, and it wouldn't stop. So I was like, hey, guys, can someone drive me?
Yep.
November 9th, 2016. Why do I remember that date? Guess what happened the day before? Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I do like that the consequences come back with a bit of glowy, a glowy headache.
Yeah.
And I like that her shoes went first.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Can we talk about what she says to dismiss all of them?
Yes.
Because there was something different in the book. Yeah.
So she uses the words lux veritas to shake off the glamour.
Truth of light.
Right.
Or
however,
light.
The book, which we were shown the page for the glamour, the book says to use the phrase sine dolus.
Which I don't know what that means.
To return everything back to normal. So where the fuck did she get lux veritas? Like, what?
Don't know.
Where? What?
No. Don't know. Someone in props didn't talk to someone in writing, or maybe the book page was done in post. Who knows?
But if the book page was done in post, then somebody in writing didn't talk to the props department. Like, there was a communication breakdown
a
somewhere.
set design issue. So someone in set design didn't talk to script.
Yeah, there was a breakdown in communication somewhere.
Yeah.
Because the phrase that she used was not the phrase that she was supposed to use.
Yep.
Which makes me wonder.
Yep.
About a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
Like, is that somehow going to come back to bite them?
I mean, like, first time watching, I didn't fucking notice what was written in the book.
Well, I, of course, paused at that moment because I wanted to see the page.
You're you.
Because I wanted to see the page. Because it was, somebody took time to make that.
Yep.
It just... it annoys me.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that we have now learned that that Mel's power works when she's not angry.
Yeah.
And in this episode, we have learned that Macy's power works when she stops thinking.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Yeah.
But again, Mel not listening to Harry. The glamour goes away. The girls are too close to Angela Wu. And Mel uses the spell she knows she's not supposed to use with her sisters that close. Harry tries to tell her yet again, and she doesn't listen.
Yeah, that would have worked better if there had been more inherent danger in the moment, I think. Like,
maybe.
Like,
but
if the Harbinger had been about to fucking devour them, and there was no other way, but there was a full 5-second bit where Harry's trying to say, no, don't do it, they're too close.
Mm-hmm.
And she does it anyway.
Yeah, or she could have, I don't know, stepped closer to her sisters or told them to get back. You know, there were many ways that this could have been different. But no, you have to knock out Science Sister so that Harry can heal her.
Yeah.
So that Mel can learn a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you got your sister hurt. I had to heal her. She was almost dead. Are you going to learn now?
Yeah.
Which, let me tell you, when we learn a little, like, I think it was like the next scene where the reason that Harry is so overprotective is because he lost someone named Fiona and this whole thing. That was great. But then Mel says the phrase, I'll never be reckless again. Don't make promises you can't keep, you dumb bitch. And I say that in the most loving of ways.
It's just poor writing.
Like
because audiences are now trained to hear those kind of phrases and go, well, obviously we know what's going to happen later. Mm-hmm. Like, nothing will ever get between us.
Exactly.
This will never happen again. Yes, it fucking will. Never
exactly.
be this. I don't do that shit in real life. I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll try to change that in the future. Like,
yeah,
making a note, I will avoid that.
Yeah,
later.
I will try to be less reckless. That's a thing you can say. But I'll never be reckless again is like me saying, oh, I had this, thing. I'll never eat that again.
Yeah. I will always be on time.
Yeah.
For you saying that, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
For me saying that, it's like, yeah, what else is new? Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing. If I got like food poisoning by cheese, and I said, well, I'm never eating cheese again.
False.
We all know that's a lie.
Yeah.
Like, you know how, like, there are the food groups and whatever? Mm-hmm. Yeah, fuck dairy. My food group is just cheese.
Ooh, I have some cheddar goat cheese downstairs if you want to try some.
Ooh, yes, please.
It tastes kind of like Parmesan, which is weird. Because it's supposed to be a cheddar, but it's, like, a really dry... Anyway,
goat cheese is usually dry.
I know.
Anyway, that was the other funny thing, right? Is so we had... in the first episode of Mel coming through with the you can say no whenever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever, blah,
consent.
Blah, blah. Yeah, consent is a thing, right? And then in this episode, when Macy finally gets out of her own head, and we have Galvin dressed as 007, as played by Idris Elba.
Yeah.
She just runs up and just kisses him. And I'm like, Macy, my goodness, woman, ask for consent first. Like, that was where my brain went. I was like...
Well, I mean, he did not fucking ask her consent before... pinning a C on her stomach so she could be cytosine.
Well,
which was a kind of an uncomfortable moment for me because I'm just like, she looks uncomfortable. He's like touching her stomach, like he's real close to her boobs right now. What's going on? Like this is
yeah. Yeah, it was a little. It was a little weird, but
then he steps back and I'm like, oh, he's just being a dork. Okay.
Yeah, he's being an adorkable person.
He's being a dork. And she's only uncomfortable because she likes him.
Yeah.
Okay, I can sort of accept this now. But otherwise, ask.
Yeah. The other thing that I had to question, and I understand that they were probably drunk or whatever, but this brings back the glamour question of does the skinny margaritas that have been glamored into existence actually make you drunk? Because when the glamour disappears, the entire house changes. Mm-hmm. And nobody seems to question it.
Well, the only thing they'd run out of at that point was skinny margaritas. So she had alcohol. She definitely had alcohol, and I'm thinking people probably brought their own.
Probably, because it was...
Because they got around the booze ban.
Yeah, that was the whole point, was having it at the house was to get around the booze ban.
So probably Slutty Baby and Zombie Beauty Queen were already drunk enough to accept that things fucking changed. Also, the lighting there was very dark.
I guess.
Most of it was lit by these weird spotlight thingies.
Hold on, I just have to go back to Slutty Baby for a second. When
I
did
know.
slutty costumes become like this huge thing? When did everything have to be sexy this and slutty that? Like,
Yeah.
I understand, I get it that Halloween is the day where you can be anything that, you know, you couldn't normally be.
It might have started
where
with
you
Mean Girls.
Where you can wear lingerie
Yeah, Mean
out
Girls.
and
Exactly.
about. And I get it, but like, why?
It's
You know why? Because skinny bitches, that's
it
why.
was a trope that became a joke that circled around to being a trope again
Yeah.
without being like ironic.
Yeah, because let me tell you, if one of us fat people go out in lingerie because, oh, it's Halloween and I'm dressed as something sexy, we don't get like, oh my God, you look so amazing comments.
Yeah.
We get, put some clothes on, you fat bitch kind of comments.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
just saying. So, skinny bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Know your privilege.
Yeah, also Slutty Baby.
Yeah, slutty baby. That just makes me wonder why she wanted to wear a diaper. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think she was wearing one.
I'm just saying.
I think there was a skirt as a part of that outfit.
Possibly.
I think it was a skirt and she had a bib.
Yeah, a bib and a pacifier, I think.
Yeah, probably.
But like, really?
Yeah. I remember going as a baby one Halloween. I had like an oversized baby bottle and a fake pacifier and everything.
Yeah.
But like...
But see, that's when
I
you
was
wear the
also-
onesie pajamas.
I was also 10.
Yeah, but like that's when you wear the onesie pajamas because then it's cute
Yeah.
and not creepy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyway, and then it was the end of the episode that we learned that Parker, the boy who saved Maggie at the restaurant, is Lucy's boyfriend.
Yep.
And Maggie learning that Parker is Lucy's boyfriend with a wart on her chin was, I think, the only reason that was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
I've now found out that you're the cute boy and you're dating her and I have a wart on my chin. Oh, my life is over.
And his face is all, oh shit, this girl I've been flirting with for the past like 2 days knows my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's why you don't be a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Just
and that's why you don't flirt with people when they're at work. Or
And
if you're dating someone.
Unless you're
it's-
in a committed polyamorous relationship and it is okay.
And then you inform the person you're flirting with.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you are in a polyamorous relationship, you need to figure that shit out before you start doing things. And something tells me they're not in a polyamorous relationship because he does not continue the flirting.
Nope.
Just saying.
Nope.
Anyway, and then we have the fact that Harry has brought Coma Demon, our harbinger, into the fucking attic.
Yep.
And the girls have to keep it under constant supervision until the elders come.
That's literally each of them doing an 8-hour shift. They have school.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, you couldn't have thought of a different way to do this? Like, a better way to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's just a bad plan because all of them have daytime obligations, including Harry.
mm-hmm.
Who's supposed to be watching this fucker?
Yeah. Like, you'd think that there would be and here's my other question. When did he get the demon into the attic? How did he get the demon into the attic? Because she's just all of a sudden chained in the attic.
Probably ordering. He would have had to.
Like, there are so many questions that aren't answered.
Well, also, there was a slight time jump right there.
Well, yeah, but still. There are just so many questions that aren't answered. And I don't know. But, like, it's the question of, okay, now you have this person chained in your attic. How is that going to come back to bite you in the ass?
Oh, noise complaints, I'm thinking?
Probably.
Definitely noise complaints, because it's loud.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, like, my final thoughts on this episode, like, I always give a show 3 episodes to hook me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this episode I don't know if these 3 episodes would keep me watching this show if we weren't doing this for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would maybe give it one more because, like, I like Science Sister. I like Maggie. You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't hate the show.
Mm-hmm.
I just...
You're not loving it.
I'm not loving it yet. I think that's the biggest thing is I'm not loving it yet.
Yeah.
And
I'm liking it enough to continue. It hasn't lost me because that's my baseline. Like,
yeah.
It has to kick me off in some way, whatever that is. Like, it can be a couple of small things where I'm like, I can see the road this is going down and I don't like it. Like, Supernatural took a long time for me to get kicked off.
Yeah.
And that happened in season fucking 11.
Yeah.
Before that, I was just like, yeah, I don't completely like everything that's happening here, but, like, it's a compelling story. I'm invested in these characters. And, you know, the longer you're with a thing, the
harder it
takes,
is to
the more it takes. And then it just ended up kind of being a combination of show and schedule, where I'm just like, oh, I don't have time to watch it this week. Oh, and now I don't have cable, so it's an effort for me to find it. Okay, guess I stopped.
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest thing with this show is... I will tune in for the next episode because, well, now I know the elders are going to show up.
Yes.
And I want to know how they do that.
Uh-huh.
But, like, if that episode doesn't, like, knock my socks off,
mm-hmm.
if I wasn't watching this for the podcast, I don't know if I would continue.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, like, I think we started out, for me, the first episode, I gave it, like, a 6, and the next episode went up to a 7. This one's back down to a 6.
Okay.
Like, it's just... It's not really holding my attention in a way that other things do.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I could... Again, if I wasn't making time to watch it for the podcast, like, I would spend my time doing other things. Like, you know, rewatching the original season of Charmed. Or going back and watching Leverage for, like, the 40th time. You know.
That kind of shit.
Yeah. But I think that's the biggest thing is that I will come back because now I want to see how they do the elders. But unless something in the next episode hooks me where I go, okay, I want to come back because I want to see what happens next. It's just, the girls alone aren't doing it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like, the original series, by episode 3, I was like, yes, I want to know more about these girls because this is nuts.
Yeah, I think the way it's going to hook me is with more world building because they're clearly they're making different choices.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the difference in the choices that they're making at some points.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, well, I want to know how they're making this work based on the original premise. And that's honestly working for me, like, enough.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is there needs to be more world building. There needs to be more
character work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mel needs to get a fucking personality that I don't despise. You know.
Well, they can't cater to you.
I'm sorry. Her personality is molasses in winter. It is
I know,
very, very slowly gaining traction. But it is so slow as compared to the other two. Like, and even Harry. Even Galvin. Like, the rest of the group has more personality that's less grating than Mel.
Yes, but is this a you problem?
It might be. It might possibly be. But that was my like... Even the cop, Nico's partner dude that I cannot...
Trip.
Thank you. I could not remember his name for the life of me.
I think they only said it once, ever, so far.
Like, even he, and we've only seen him the once. Like, even he has more personality. I don't know. I think we're done.
Yeah.
We have no sign off.